Hello! So, here's some highlights of the gear that I've tried out this year. My gear of the year, if you will. It's mainly guitars. I've got a top 5 favourites, 3 that I would not recommend, and 4 guitars which are pretty good. Great on paper, but they just weren't really for me. But they might be for you. Speaking of which, please do let me know in the comments what gear you've tried out this year that you have liked or did not like. And speaking of like, please do consider hitting that like button. But not yet. Wait until a few minutes in. Let me try and earn it first. There will be links below in the description to related videos to all the gear mentioned in this video. Right, so let's get to it. Here is my top 5 picks of the year. Number 1, the Jet JS400 / Fazley Phynica FSST 720. It's my current favourite guitar and my number 1 gigging guitar. In stock condition, it's pretty great for the money, but with a few choice mods, I don't think it can be beat. So also shout out to the Fazley Phynica FSST 720, this white one right here. These are sadly now discontinued, but it's pretty much the same guitar. Before they were discontinued, Backshop were blowing them out for crazy prices, and I kinda ended up with 3 of them. And I have 2 Jet JS400s. This is basically the Strat that Fender wishes they could make these days. Controversial. But the necks are sublime. I've did a video comparing a stock Jet JS400 to a Fender Player Strat, and then I've got another video where I've did loads of mods to the Jet JS400. I've got a video in the works comparing the modded Jet to the Fender Player stock. Interesting stuff, I think. Number 2, the Squier Master Series Esprit. Number 2. So it's number 2 because I had one of these for years, but I just wasn't playing it. And I think that's because there was a couple of wee details that annoyed me about it a little bit. I wasn't absolutely in love with the top, and it had some cosmetic damage. But this year I found another one in absolutely immaculate condition for a very fair price, so I snatched it up. And I just recently sold the other one, which was the plan. I've actually not played the new Esprit too much either, but I've not had it that long, and been pretty busy recently. Alright? I'll play it soon. Hopefully. Or that might get sold too. Number 3, the Thomann Safecase 80E. Just for the tick. Huh? This was a bargain, even though technically I don't use it. Well, not all of it. I use part of it. For gigs, I use a Fusion Urban gig bag, but I needed a little bit more space, so I wanted to buy the Fusion Fuse On add-on bag for it, but they cost like £133 or something. This Thomann Safecase cost £111, and the wee extra front bag like the mono tick fits perfectly on the Fusion gig bag. The fasteners line up and the dimensions are exactly the same. Score! And even though I'm not using the gig bag for gigs, I've got this awesome spare high quality gig bag that I use for like taking guitars to the tech and stuff, which is quite often. I really need to learn how to do my own mods. Number 4, Vanson locking tuners. After trying out a set of £25 MusicLily locking tuners, I tried out a set of these Vansons, and they're pretty great for the price in my opinion, around £33. They're very solid and smooth turning, they just feel quite good quality. I only wish they had staggered posts. If anyone can point me in the direction of a set of locking tuners with staggered posts for under £50, then please let me know in the comments. I'll put a link in the description to the Vansons on Amazon if I can find it, but most of the time they're out of stock. Number 5, the Fender Player Strat pickups. Okay, so even though I was quite underwhelmed by the Fender Player Strat itself, I think the pickups are absolutely brilliant, in my opinion. I've A/B'd them against the Fender Custom Shop Fat 50s, the Fender Tex-Mex and old Fender USA Standard pickups, which are awesome, and they seem to be almost identical, if not completely identical, to the latter.
The pickups are the big stars of the show right now.
I know tone and that is all subjective, but a lot of people want to instantly upgrade the pickups on their Fender Player Strats. But luckily for me, and maybe you, because of this, we can often find them for sale used or barely used for like 40 to 60 quid. But now that I've told you that, I've probably just gave myself some competition on eBay. But for me, these pickups are the best thing about the Fender Player Strat. Controversial again, possibly? Let me know. Right, so that's the top 5, all the positive stuff done. Now, let's get into the drama. So here's the gear that I would dodge, or swerve, whatever you like. Number 1, the aforementioned MusicLily locking tuners. These tuners are okay. If you can only manage £25 to upgrade your tuners and you really want a set of locking tuners, then go for it. But these aren't amazing. I mean, they do work and you're pretty much getting what you expect for £25, but they're a wee bit grindy and they just generally don't feel very good quality. If you can stretch to an extra £8, then get yourself a set of Vansons or Wilkinsons. These are much better, smoother, they feel more robust and just higher quality. Links in the description. Number 2, the Fender Player Stratocaster HSS. Like I mentioned before, this guitar has phenomenal pickups. It does have some nice upgrades over the old Fender made in Mexico standards. I mean, it's practically the same specs as the old Fender USA standard. It's got the same 2-point trem, the extra 22nd fret, and it's got the nicer logo, etc. The only differences I can think of are that it's got a plastic nut, the kinda crappy butterfly string tree, and it doesn't have the rolled fretboard edges. But the Fender Player Strat, for the money, I think you can do a lot better these days. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? What's going on there? I'm just going to wait here until you do it. Number 3, the PRS SE Silver Sky. I tried one of these out earlier in the year after finding one used locally for a good price. It just didn't do it for me. I mean, I love the colour. I got the dragon fruit finish and I just thought that looked absolutely great. Would look better with maple fretboard, and those models did eventually come out, but with different finishes. I think I liked the nylon blue and there was a purplish one. They look pretty cool. But I think my summary at the time was something along the lines of, it's the Strat that's trying not to be a Strat. And for me, it was kind of missing both marks. If it looks like a Strat, I expect it to Strat, and it didn't Strat. Which was a shame, because I did think it looked kind of cool, and I like the headstock design. It kind of reminded me a bit of the first run of the Yamaha Pacificas, in terms of feel and tone. Feel free to let me have it in the comments. I can take it. Okay, so we're on to the next section. This is the gear that, it's pretty much great, on paper and probably for someone else, but it just wasn't for me. Here we go. Number 1, the Harley Benton SC25th. This was Harley Benton's 25th anniversary this year. Who knew? I've never really got on with any single cut guitars, but if I was going to like any single cut, the spec sheet told me it was going to be this one. It's a phenomenally spec guitar, not just for the price, like it's a phenomenally spec guitar for something twice the price. And the quality, the fit and finish was top notch. But I just couldn't get on with the neck profile, which was kind of expected. It was a bit too heavy for me and I didn't like the pickups. The latter is an easy fix, but the former, not so much. I'm still keen to find the right single cut for me, so we'll maybe try another one next year. Let's see what happens. Number 2, the SoloKing Ms1 Classic. This one could have been the one. Another one that on paper is almost perfect. For this one, I didn't like the pickups at all, which is an easy fix, but it was also a bit heavy for me, and there's not much we can do about that other than ordering a replacement, which I did. More on that some other time. The first one I had, the fretwork was okay, but the second one, the fret ends on the underside were quite sharp and not too great. Plus, the Anderton's customer service experience soured this one for me a little bit, although they have been trying to fix it. I might do an update video on this in the future, we'll see. Let me know if you're interested. I really don't know if I want to do a rant video. It's kind of clickbaity, isn't it? But we are consumers, and we need to know. The dichotomy. Number 3, the Harley Benton CST 24 HB. This is another one that I picked up used locally for a very good price from friend of the channel, Marson. Hello Marson. Once again, it's a great guitar and it's got great specs on paper and it was a great price. Everything's great. But this is pretty much a PRS style guitar, and it turns out I just don't really dig this type of guitar too much. No complaints at all about the quality or the sound, I just don't ever find myself wanting to pick this one up, and when I do, I don't enjoy the neck profile. I've only did a first impressions video on this one, but I did do a full review. I've just not posted it yet, so that's coming next year, even though the guitar might be gone by then. Keep an eye out for it used locally, you might be able to pick it up a bargain. Number 4, the Eart NK C3 Coarsair. Once again, great specs on paper. This is another one that would be a great mod platform because the pickups weren't really that great in my opinion. You might like them. I've actually had 3 of these guitars in total, but this last one I got this year, so it made the list. It's got the best fretwork that I've ever experienced on any guitar, ever. The first one I got had some issues, defects, but I contacted Eart directly and they offered me some of the best customer service I've ever experienced, ever, from a guitar company. Basically, they sent me a new one and told me to keep the defective one. So that's how I ended up with 3 of them. There's a video on that in the description. Or maybe it's up there. Is it there? Might be there. Right, so that's about it. There was other gear this year, but I wanted to try and make this video a bit shorter because some of my recent videos have been up to about 20 minutes. So please do let me know in the comments what gear you've tried this year, what did you love, and what did you dislove. Let me know. So, coming up on the channel, it will be a new year, and it'll be the start of my 2nd year on YouTube. That's 1 year in the bag. So next week's upload is going to be a video on my 1 year journey on YouTube, if that's okay with you, and then we'll get back to the normal guitar content. Alright? Great. Okay, thanks for watching. Until next time, see you later.